Hello, what's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. I wanted to give a quick little review for Toy Story 5. I do have a thing to show before I begin. It's a ball, a toy ball from the movie, and the merchandise includes more or less. We got a cup with the straw. Got this at AMC theaters. A Jessie topple and a Buzz Lightyear pin. And I forgot the Buzz Lightyear card that I got. It's a trading card. They're doing that now, at least AMC theaters. A lot of movies are releasing trading cards. The last movie I got a trading card for was for Star Wars: The Mandalorian and Gregor. So this movie, it brought back memories. And I'm gonna be going through the cast list. I like to use IMDb, so unlike other people, you can see it lasts an hour and 42 minutes. Rated, of course, PG for kids. You've got the original cast. Tom Hanks as Woody, the voice. The voice of Buzz Lightyear is none other than Tim Allen. These are the OGs since the first Toy Story, 1999. You got Joan Cusack as Jessie, the cowgirl that is bold and beautiful with red hair that will risk everything to make a child happy. She's basically the female version of Woody. Then you got Conan O'Brien, this time around, as a character called Smarty Pants, which is like this little, um, well, remote control looking thing that apparently helps toddlers become potty trained. Then you have Scarlett Smears reprising her role as Bonnie. She's this new child. She's kind of like Andy in the old films. Andy's now grown up, and this one's a Bonnie. I think Bonnie was introduced in Toy Story 4, the prequel to this one. We got Greta Lee. Greta Lee was known for her role in I forgot the character, but she was in Tron Ares. Um, this time around, she's playing Lilypad, which is this brand new uh, touchpad that's, I guess it's AI because it's able to take in the commands and connect to Wi-Fi and have Bonnie be able to play all these neat games and meet friends. You know how they meet, right? On the internet, they meet on the internet without playing. Kids nowadays don't want to play with toys; they'd rather play on those smartphones and tablets. So it's got that whole stick as a theme about how we are so addicted to screen time. Speaking of which, where is my phone? Oh, it's back there. Okay. Well, we're so addicted to screen time that, pardon me, I got to check my phone for something, that we don't have time for regular things like, playing. And this has affected children. The last movie I thought that was kind of a warning about screen time on phones, it was like, we need to reduce our screen time, was the movie Good Luck don't good luck have fun don't die because that had a kids attached to those smartphones theme throughout the movie. Anyway, so this one, we also have a character named Snappy, voiced by Shelby Labara. Blaze, she's this other cowgirl that apparently she inhabits the old home of one of Jesse's first owner. I believe her name was uh I forgot, was Ashley or Amber or something like that. Something started with an A. Anyway, so yeah, she Blaze is played by Michaela Mitchell Harris. We got Greg Robertson as Atlas, which is this phone-like character that resembles a hungry hippo. A hippo, it's like a phone basically. Then of course you can see the rest of the cast. We've got Forky, played by Tony Hale. Mr. Pickle Pants, John Hopkins. Wallace Shine reprises his role as the voice of Rex, which is the famous T-Rex from the first one. We've got Oni Hudson as Combat Car, and Blaze's mom, who is Chris Marshall. Um, I can go into more of them, it's just Bonnie's dad, played by Jay Hernandez. Bonnie's mom, played by Lori Allen. Bonnie Hunt, which is another different Bonnie, the actress Bonnie, plays the character Dolly. I've oh, that's that doll from I think number four. A lot of pretty much all the toys from the original Toy Stories are in this one. This is supposed to be the final one. So, and I think that's it for the cast. It's I think we're missing a few characters. The soldiers, the toy soldiers, are not in this one. And anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna be giving kind of like a little small synopsis that's as non-spoilery as possible because there's people still, watching this film, going to go see it with their friends. It's a very fun, family fun time. It's fun for the whole family, kid friendly for sure, just like all Toy Stories are. But the thing about this one is it's more digital themed because, like I said, everybody's glued to their phones, and we have a tendency to not want to play outside. Even little kids, they just gonna be stuck on their tablets and phones all day, and so it's about young Bonnie. She's different from the other kids in that she still wants to play with toys. The other kids don't want to play with toys. They want to be on their tablets and phones. And her parents see this as a problem, so they decide to solve it by buying Bonnie a Lilypad. Bonnie quickly, adapts this Lilypad. Like our kids, she gets absorbed in it because screens have that weird effect of causing us to be stuck to them, even at the problem of constricting our eyesight, our irises, or whatever it does. And, well, it makes the toys feel obsolete and not needed because the toy's job is solely to make a child happy. That's exactly what Buzz Lightyear says. And by the way, there's millions of newly updated Buzz Lightyear, and I say newly updated Buzz Lightyears because what film would not be complete with an entourage, an army, if you will, of Buzz Lightyear action figures, not just one but many. Of course, still different from the original, the OG Buzz Lightyear, because they have this digital print on the chest. But they also have a very cool key feature at the end. It's like an upgrade. That's a very tiny spoiler for you. Anyway, so be looking out for that. There is also an after mid credit. There's a mid credit scene or an after credit scene, but they're not much. You can miss them, but I'd say why not stay for the whole ride? Anyway, so the toys they have to find a way to get rid of this lily pad so that Bonnie will play with them because Jessie has this thing to where she watched all of the children that she was responsible for entertaining and making make them have a childhood. Um, she watched all her owners, that's what they call it, owners, grow up, and she's felt alone. She's been under the bed several times. She's been discarded several times, and she's been passed on. As you can see on her foot, her boot, just like Woody, she has different owners. So she's been passed around like a good 3 or 4 times. Woody is he kind of takes a back seat a little bit in this movie. I know on the poster it presents him as his bold, crossing arms, kind of on the star of the show type of gig. But this movie is mostly fronted by Bonnie. Bonnie is taking center stage. It's her story because uh, the toys she ends up with, they're at Bonnie's old home, which is the home of this new character called Blaze, named Blaze. Blaze has inhabited Bonnie's first owner's home on the ranch. It's basically a farmhouse, ranch, and then Jesse's first home. Jesse meets the likes of characters Smarty Pants, Snappy, and Atlas. I had to look up the second one. And, like I said, Atlas is basically a phone, a flip phone, hippopotamus style. He looks like a hippopotamus flip phone. And Snappy, she's a toy camera. And she meets them later, but first she meets Smarty Pants, which is like this. It's called Smarty Pants because it's a toy that's meant to somehow train toddlers in being potty trained. And there's some it emits pictures of sorts, helps them recognize the difference between one urinating and two defecating, which is when you crap, doo doo, as you'd say. And I'm not sure how exactly that works. I was raised differently in that regard, but apparently, I'm gonna take my glasses off. Is kids can use this, and the reason why this happens is because by accident there was this little sleepover that Bonnie asked her friends can she go to. She meets these friends via her Lilypad. So she decides to have a sleepover with them, but um, she doesn't get to stay or something happens. I forgot. But Jessie ends up being left behind at her old home, more or less. It was the home of her first owner, so it was actually Jessie's old home. And because of that, um, she has to figure out how to get back to Bonnie because as much as she would like to stay at that old home, and she really doesn't want to stay that much because memories, because you would think that she would want to reminisce about her first owner, but that's just it. Her first owner grew up and kind of discarded her, so she kind of has those you know bad feelings towards that, not towards her owner, but towards that whole situation. So she wants to leave and be reunited with Bonnie. So she enlists the help of Smarty Pants, who apparently is, a Smarty Pants, and he needs a new set of batteries, whatnot, right? And after helping him, he starts to plot a way of how she can get back to Bonnie. She finds his other two friends, Snappy and Atlas, helps them get juice powered on, and they all together link up to send messages back and forth between themselves. Jesse's message to Bonnie via text that's transmitted through the internet back to the Bonnie's Lilypad. You know, and this Lilypad is considered the villain of the story because it's a newly updated toy. It's kind of like the first Toy Story when Andy his favorite toy was Woody, and then when Buzz Lightyear came along, it was like this new tech toy, and Andy really, he liked that one. He fell in love with that one, and Woody became jealous because he was like, "You are not going to replace me as Andy's favorite toy." And it was just this whole, rivalry between Buzz and Woody. Tim Allen's character and Tom Holland's character, respectively. And that movie was brilliant because in the time it was made, 1999, it created this rivalry that was friendly, but also kids can learn from it, and they can learn how to resolve their differences. And that's how Woody and Buzz ultimately become friends. Buzz Lightyear, of course, becomes a childhood household favorite. There's shows made after him. There's even a movie that came out like 3 or 4 years ago with Chris Evans as the voice for Buzz Lightyear in the movie called uh, Buzz Lightyear to Infinity and Beyond, or whatever it was called. A lot of people didn't like Chris Evans as Buzz. I thought it was okay. Anyway, back to Toy Story 5. This film, yeah, it's just as good. The score on Rotten Tomatoes is currently, I think, 94 the last time I checked. I'm doing this thing with Call Sheet, which is like I'm making a bet on the score if it'll go above 94. I believe it will by the morning of, I think, around 7 Pacific time on Monday the 22nd is what I'm shooting for. If that score stays at about, I don't know, 94 or even goes above that. Yeah, it's currently at 93%, and of course we're looking at the tomato meter. So our critics 93% Rotten Tomatoes, for certified fresh. So yeah, it's doing fairly good right now, very good in fact. And just like with all the Toy Stories, though, around the '90s when it comes to the tomato meters, of Rotten Tomatoes. And well, so I'm hoping it'll either stay that way or I don't think it's gonna go down, but I hope it rise just so I can hopefully win some money if I sell my trade on Kashi. Anyway, yeah, so um, that's pretty much my review. I don't want to spoil anything. You get a happy ending, more or less, you as you always do with Toy Stories. I've forgotten the plot of Toy Story. I keep doing Toy for some reason. Toy Story 2, 3, and 4. I only really remember the first one, the original, the OG, the one that started it all. I got to rewatch 2, 3, and 4. I remember a bit of 2. I think it's basically a revenge story of Andy's bully, but yeah, I definitely don't remember 3 and 4. I think 4 is when Woody meets um, that shepherd doll, which she's in this movie, but very briefly. Oh, and it's always nice to see these dolls, little toys, because they're so animated when humans aren't looking, including the owner that plays with them. But whenever the owner or any other human come near, they go completely limp and freeze, and that's always funny to see because they literally do that. Even if they're in the middle of the street, they'll just fall down and go limp, and people won't think anything of it. Sometimes they may pick them up, but think they're just in the way, and we'll put them away in a safe place. But it's like they're programmed almost to do exactly that. And of course, when I was a kid, I didn't really catch that with the first few movies. But now that I think about it a little more analytically, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? It might be that they're programmed because there's this whole thing with how Buzz Lightyear in the first movie, he believed that he was really alive in a way, that he was actually a soldier trying to seek Star Command and fight off General Zod. But Woody, by the end of the movie, lets him know that you are a toy and not a real life person. So there's that distinction between toy, aka make believe, and what that toy is supposed to reference. So, um, the reference of the show, like Woody had a show, Buzz Lightyear obviously was a show in the Dream movie. But yeah, so that's that distinction there is that they know that they're toys, but they still, whether programmedly, freeze if a human comes around. Anyway, that's my review. Did not mean to go this long. I have more to say than I did in my review of The Death of Wildhood because that movie I was just completely lost, didn't understand it. Had to rewatch that one. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Like and subscribe if you like this video. Um, I plan on posting more videos so soon. And yeah, that's really all I got to say. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Take care.